Now, I was saying that NASA is Nancy's partner, and they couldn't do a better job of it. They are taking pictures of the sun every single day, and in between the sun and the earth is planet X, not star X. I know there's a lot of people, even on the Micro Effect Network, who say, well, this is a dwarf star. No, it is not a dwarf star. It is a planet. It has an atmosphere, it has oceans, it has volcanic rifts, and it's where there lives selfish extraterrestrials, and they look like the statues on Easter Island. They have red hair, and they're giants. They're 12 feet tall. And they used to come here until they did such abominable things that unselfish extraterrestrials banned them. And when I read Zecharia Sitchin's first book around 1974, I couldn't believe it. It might have been even as late as 1976. But I continued to read every book that came out, and it's absolutely true. I mean, you see this symbol of the winged globe, which is the symbol for Planet X, everywhere in the world. Just in Bolivia and Peru, there are 18,000-year-old or even older carvings of the winged globe, and that's because it has twin strands of moons stretching behind it that twist like the wings of a bird. So photographed from head on, as it approaches Earth, it looks like a bird wheeling in the sky. And NASA has the stereo ahead and the stereo behind satellite, the SOHO satellites, the LASCO satellites. These satellites have different cameras on them, and they are photographing the sun. And they're sending up all kinds of other satellites, and they're all for purported purposes of asteroids, comets, blah, blah, blah. But what they're doing is they're only interested in one thing, and that's identifying when Planet X is going to come by Earth and cause pole shift. Right now, it's in an almost a stopped position, and so is the Earth in its orbit. So, if it weren't for these pictures, there would be very little proof that what Nancy says is true, that what the Zetas are telling everybody is absolutely true. And you can go to the NASA SOHO website and look at these pictures. They get downloaded about every 10 minutes. You can keep watching, and you can be the first to spot Planet X in one of those pictures, as well as anybody else, and as well as me. Now, I have right now on my computer hundreds of pictures of Planet X next to the sun. And the funny thing is, NASA isn't even discussing the subject. So you would think, with all these prophecies, with a huge body of work from Nancy and the Zetas at ZetaTalk, you would think that that would be a subject that could be discussed. But the fact it's not being discussed at all is so strange. And that's why I'm calling NASA Nancy's partner. Because, now, there's another planet, and people didn't even know about it. There have been rumors of it. There have been people have had visions and stories that there might be another planet the same size as Earth on the far side of the sun. And there's never been any proof of it. And if any of the astronauts go up into space and see this, they're not talking. So the question is there or isn't there? Well, this week, the absolutely most amazing photographs of the dark twin, the twin to Earth, with no atmosphere, no moisture, no oceans, no water, no people, no life at all, just a black, bluish-colored rock out in space, the same size as Earth, has been captured with NASA photographs next to the sun. So that's why I say NASA is Nancy's best partner. It's their foolishness and their ridiculous position on the subject that actually underlines every single thing that she says. Now, you're going to want to see these pictures yourself. And I'm telling you, they are exciting. And where you go is http://poleshift.ning.com. And the reason why you want to go there is because if you want to ask the Zetas questions yourself, you know, you're saying to yourself, oh, there can't be extraterrestrials, and how come she's in contact with, they're in contact with a woman in Wisconsin, and you can't be serious that you can actually ask them your own question and get an answer. But it's true, and all you have to do is go to poleshift.ning.com, and you will find a site there which you don't have to join, but if you want to ask a question, you should join. I joined, and I have asked questions, and I've gotten answers, and it's so fascinating. I don't know how anybody can do anything else once they discover that site. It's like all you want to do is focus on that. But if you go to poleshift.ning.com and look, you will see that there are blogs and other parts of it. It's a big site. It's got a lot of information. It's got over 3,000 members, and what you can do is look for the postings about the dark twin, and they're just amazing. If you see these photographs, these are from NASA. These are downloaded from the NASA website. These are updated every 10 minutes. There it is, the dark twin. And why is it there? Well, people say, well, the Earth couldn't possibly have stopped in its orbit. It couldn't, none of this could be true. But Nancy has said, and the Zetas have said, that the Earth has stopped in its orbit, and because it was stopped, the dark twin, which is opposed to the Earth in its orbit around the Sun, has caught up in its orbital path to the Earth. And that right now, Planet X is laying on its side with its North Pole pointed at the Earth like a flashlight. And in front of it is Venus and the dark twin. So you have this collection, and that's what the recent crop circles in the last several years have been showing, is this cup. And in the cup are three bodies, the Earth, Venus, and the dark twin. And that's what those three objects are in these crop circle images that keep coming up the same way. And so if you were to reach up into the sky and take the entire solar system and grab it right out of the sky and slap it down on a table, all the north poles of the sun and all the planets all point upward. Okay, and then here comes this planet, which NASA admitted in 1983 that they spotted it, on its way in from the direction of the constellation Orion, came in from behind the sun to the left, around behind it, and came in front of it, off to the side, not directly in front of the sun, but off to the side, towards the Earth, and it came to a stop, and the Earth came to a stop, and Venus came to a stop, and the dark twin came to a stop. So we have this dance in the sky, and it's just in the state of equilibrium. It's a point of zero gravity for all four. So what's going on is that as Planet X goes to leave, that's when pole shift happens. So there's this little dance going back and forth, and it's uncertain. There isn't a day that you can say, well, this is the day it's going to happen, or this is the day it isn't going to happen. But believe me, when it moves away from the sun far enough to stand alone in the sky, and everyone around the world looks up and goes, oh my God, what is that? On that day, and it will take about 3 days to sweep the entire Earth, because anyone who's outside at all and looks up is going to see this. It's going to be immense, it's going to be spectacular, it's going to be unmistakable, and it's going to prove that everything that Nancy said is true. So this is really an exciting time, and we haven't reached that point yet, but that day could happen at any point. So now, you have the Earth stopped in its orbit. Well, people say, well, that's like a concept that, they didn't teach you that in school. You could have studied astronomy your whole life, and you never got to a point where they said the Earth could stop in its orbit, and that the other planets could back up, and there could be this whole bunch of 4 planets doing this little slow dance, a gravitational dance, where they all keep their distance and they all basically don't move that much in the sky. But that's